Hey guys, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program with Nitro, and we're ready to finally deploy these rovers down to the LZ that I landed my drones at last time. So I got the stages ready to go here over on the left for the deorbital engines, and I'm going to undock this one first. Switch on over to it. I know the staging looks a little chaotic, but it should be fine. And just like the drones, I have to unlock the fuel tank. I transferred a little bit of RCS out of this tank into the main cockpit because all of the command pods now have fuel. I don't know which way. Oh, wrong way. Okay. There we go. Okay, and yeah, I guess we can go out this way. So this one's going to be a wee bit wobbly. And actually I need to switch back here and go right down to the engine. Open up the shield so you can dock. So that'll be the first deorbital engine that I take down to the surface. And go back to the rover. And let's move a little faster. And there we go. And keep an eye on the RCS fuel here. I think I am using a bit more of it than I would normally use on the drones anyways. Maybe, I don't know. It should be fine actually. RCS looks good. So now we need to rotate like this. Bring this over here. Yeah, it's about good. Alright. Go ahead and bring the rover in. Drifting a little bit too far that way. Alright, that should be good. And let's see, we need to rotate that way. Couple pulses. And coming in here, almost aligned. It should be about good. Let's just stop real quick and check. I need to rotate a bit like this. Oop, go over. And boop. There we go. So first rover is ready to go here. And I think this stage is ready. Actually, it looks like I just screwed up my staging. Yeah, it did. Alright. So that's fine. Just gotta bring that decoupler and that engine back there. And eject. Go. And there we go. As I switch back to the Rover here, we got a nice clean separation. Make sure my Rover's actually pointing the right direction here. So let's get this as control from here. And I gotta remember to disable fuel cross feed so we don't eat up any fuel out of that guy. And let's see. Got the LZ over there. So let's drop this down. It's pretty far. I have to do that a lot sooner, actually. It's 700 meters per second. So if I do this a lot sooner, and see, I can't. That doesn't seem to change much. Alright, fine. Or there we go, it's about 500 meters per second, so it's a little bit less. And I'll overshoot it just a bit. And it looks to be about good, so we got 48 seconds there on the countdown timer, but I think I'll be okay. Let's go ahead and use RCS gas for now, because all the RCS will be essentially burnt out of this forward tank here. And I do have a little bit extra fuel on board this thing, but it's fuel I'd like to land on the ground with, ideally. And we are burning through it pretty quick. Going to physical time warp. Alright, so now we're at 30 seconds. Bring it out of physical time warp and hit the engine. I'm going to be a little gentle with it because I don't want this thing to snap in half, which does look a little unstable there. Boy. I think the center of mass of this Rover is a little wonky too. It is wobbling a little bit. I think we're going to be okay. And there we go, we're out of the range of the Nostromo. Oh man, it's really wobbly. Alright, let's power down. Yeah, it's pretty wobbly. Alright, we're doing pretty good. Just about done. I'll cut it off, I guess, a little early here. That should be good. Let's check. That looks perfect. So let's go ahead and I need to set the drone 2 as target. So now I'll know how close I'm coming to the actual drone itself. And do a quick little check here of the staging. So yeah, that's good. I'll go first and then parachute. Looks good. pop it, and alright. Everything looks good, so let's go ahead and time warp in a little bit, hit backspace, go back to my rover. And it looks like that's going to overshoot, or undershoot, my bad, a bit too much. I'm going to bring that over there, it's about 100 meter per second burn, but I'm going to keep an eye on it here in the map view. We're actually doing that burn really easily, so that's good. Alright, I think we're good right there. Alright. Time warp down a little bit more. It may have been a bit too much. So I don't know, we'll try a correction burn here, about 80 meters per second. Alright, there we go. Alright, monopropellant's about empty, but we still have a good amount of fuel. Alright, so you can see here now I got my target markers, so we're aiming right at it. Pop that over here a little bit, because I think we're going to not quite make it. We're gonna undershoot it a bit here. Try to keep that retrograde on it. Oh, here we go. Coming in real hot. Oh, that's about right. Do full burn. Try to get us over to it. And we're out of fuel. So, eject that engine. And so we're only 3 kilometers off. That's pretty good. Pop parachute. Oh, that almost detached. Jesus. Alright. It's okay. Monopropellant is officially empty. Let's go ahead and turn on the brakes. And power down everything here. So it's deployed, but we're still falling. Oh wait, no, that's target speed. That's not surface speed. My bad. It's all confused there for a second. I'll keep it as a target though. We should be fine. Please, wheels don't break. Okay, good. Wow, I'm surprised those wheels didn't like shatter. This is actually really good though. We landed safely, and do a quick little check of our systems here. Everything looks good. All right, you guys ready for this? We're gonna pop the parachute top off this thing in 3, 2, 1. Boop. And it's gone. It's out of here. Can't even see it anymore. Alright, let's go back to the rover. And that's gonna land and explode somewhere. My controls seem to be a little inverted, but I guess that's okay. Alright, so let's turn on our lights. So I got nice little blue lights here for Laythe. Turn those off. Battery packs on the back here, a little bit of science equipment just for show. And solar panels to keep everything nice and charged. And let's see, I think... Nope. Oh, what'd I do? And I thought I was going to deploy these. I thought I had these on hotkeys, but apparently not. Oops. Let's do that one. Come on, give me my... There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and extend those just for a little bit of added awesomeness. Alright, so let's see, let's lock rear steering. Alright, there we go, there we go. So now left is left, right is right. So that's working now. Even though I didn't invert it, I think these were causing issue. So it's working now. Sweet! This is my little Rover. I do have some of these are ion engines that I kind of stuck inside of the Zen gas fuel tanks. So I have those on there. I have enough fuel on this thing to make a jump, but I'd really rather not jump it because I don't think it'll survive landing. But it does have a lot of power on it right now, so it could go flying off the ground if I activate any one of those engines. The Zen gas engines are going to be on the last stage there. And I thought I had these set up for action groups, but I guess I don't, as I pressed 1 through 6 already on my mouse, and it didn't work yet. So coming in here to drone 2, we're going real fast. Oh boy. We're going way over 20 meters per second there, and that's really, really fast for a rover. I'd like to keep it under 15 just to prevent any sort of bad things happening to my wheels. But I'm glad it did well there. It's actually performing quite nicely. My little unmanned Rover. And I do have a seat here up on the front as well as a ladder, so I can get my Kerbal up on board and in the pilot seat. And we're going up a bit of a hill here, and this is close to the landing zone that I wanted to try and land at. But it does seem to be leveling off here up towards the top, so this does look reasonably level for planet, especially right here. It's pretty level. And we're here, so let's go ahead and hit the brakes and switch over to... Oh, there it landed. Whoa. Error. No. I'm stuck. It won't let me go to the thing, so... Space Center? 14 seconds ago. Okay, that's fine. So I need to clear out that debris and then fly the drone 2, because I guess it's just going to the debris. So rover debris. Let's go ahead and get the rover debris out of here. Okay, and drone 2. Let's go ahead and fly that. There we go. Alright, so now we can get Hadley Kerman. Yep. Get on over here to Rover. And I wonder if you can extend this. You can. Alright, perfect. Actually, he might be able to just board from here. Yeah, he can, so he doesn't even need the ladder. He's too much of a badass. Alright, so I guess we don't need these ladders, but they're there just in case something should go horribly, horribly wrong. Alright, so we have him there. I'm still gonna control from the top, just because from bird's eye view, I know up here, I know which way is north, which way is south, east, and west. And turn the brakes off would be helpful. And now I can just sort of scout this area here. This is our potential LZ, and this actually looks to be the most flat I've seen so far. Somewhat of an incline, but not too bad. This whole terrain right here on the top up to about this point is nice and flat. So this is really an ideal place for a base. And I do have quite a bit of leeway room here to potentially miss or overshoot, as long as it's up to about this ridge and you can kind of see where the polygon terrain is ending here with these little graphical glitches. So it's about right here. I think I'm just about on the line. So that gives us, and this is going up an incline now, so we don't want to go this far just yet. So I would say about a 400-meter radius from the Drone 2 cockpit is about what I have to work with. So I have to land that massive station out of orbit within about 400 meters of Drone 2. Even here at 300 meters, you can tell right now we're going downhill because we're picking up speed. But this is actually a really, really nice landing zone. We're inside the crater. I don't think we're too far from the ocean. Yeah, we're kind of far from the ocean, but yeah, we'll be okay. This is actually a nice large landmass for it. Driving around on the Rover. Alright, so one of the things I talked about in the last video is about making a boat, and that's definitely one of the things I want to prioritize for this Laythe base of operations that I'm setting up over here, is we're going to need a boat, because Laythe is mostly water, and I'm also going to need a place to land planes, and this is actually a really nice spot because it's so level. I mean, this is a fair strip right here. If I brought it in along this length right here where my mouse is going, that seems to be pretty ideal and nice and flat to try and land planes. All I think I really need, though, is some sort of a refueling station or something like that on the ground, so that way I can actually refuel the planes once they touch down. Because that would be good. Alright, so after scouting the area, I think 400 meters is a bit generous. I think I'm going to need to bring that into about 350-meter radius from the Drone 2 cockpit. So if we land within 350 meters of this thing, we're doing pretty good. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to pinpoint land it right on top of this thing without a really powerful deorbital engine, but I'm going to try once I get the deorbital engine out here. So that's Rover 1, and we're at about 23 minutes here into the recording, so I think we can get Rover 2 down on the ground and rendezvous with Drone 1. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to Nostromo and deploy Drone 2, and we'll get that down there, and I'm going to have them both rendezvous at Drone 2, and we'll get rid of Drone 1 because I don't think we need that pod anymore. And then once we land the station, I'll get rid of the Drone 2 pod as well. Alright, don't explode. Good. Nothing exploded. Come on. So it takes a little while to load everything in here, but my PC seems to be doing pretty good. Getting a little bit of frame rate back now. It's still absolutely terrible, but got just enough to make it not so bad for me to actually play it. Alright, so let's open this shield up. And get this drone here docked. Undock. Swap over to it, unlock this tank. And activate SAS RCS. And now, there we go. And I'll move us out this way this time. Bring it down. Alright, doing pretty good. Starting to get just a little dark. And stop our horizontal movement there. Yep, there we go. So I'm just rotating it here to make sure I'm on target, lined up. So I do need to go down a bit and this way. Alright, I think that's good. And getting real close. Just gotta slow down now and bring it in. And this should dock. Think maybe. Looks like it is. Yep, there we go. Alright, perfect. Perfect. And that's ready to go. So let's go ahead and eject. Come on. There we go. Swap over to it. Activate my RCS again, and we have a clean separation. Alrighty. So that's good. Hopefully the game doesn't cause my ship to explode. Actually, I need to keep an eye on the Nostromo there. Make sure it doesn't blow up into a bazillion pieces. Looks like it's doing okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's doing okay. I hope. Alright. So now it's probably popping a maneuver node here. Bring that in. Be down just a bit. Probably actually going to rotate quite a bit before I get there, so we'll plan on that maneuver node right there. And see how good that is. So as long as that ship doesn't go rocketing off into space and explode, we're good. So far the bug hasn't happened, so again, I don't know if they fixed it or not, but it has not caused me any issues yet. And it is a bug with the claw. It's actually something I could probably take care of right now. Now that I think about it, which I'm gonna do just for safety reasons. I'm gonna get rid of the claw part of the Nostromo and delete it. Whoa, texture. What happened to you? Alright, so the Nostromo and fly. So I'm just gonna undock it and then get rid of it for good. I don't need anymore. The whole bottom section is all out of fuel now. Anyways, all I needed that part for was to carry the deorbital engines for the rover parts. And now that it has served its purpose, needs to go. Alright, there we go. Come on. And I can close this docking port while I'm at it. Alright, so close that one up, and then right here, need to undock. So we are free. So this whole section here is completely out of fuel, and it's out of RCS as well, so it's completely served its purpose. Alright, and I think that's good. So I should be able to just go right back to the Space Center and then delete it. And it will further improve my frame rate. At least hope. Here we go. OS transfer stage. That's what it is. So terminate that. And Nostromo rover in orbit. And go back to flying that. And we should be ready to land. And again, I also want to remind you guys to post a subscriber challenge in the Superstation video that I posted earlier if you haven't already. Still waiting on subscriber challenges to get posted depending on how difficult the challenge is and whether or not you're the first to post. I can do the first challenge that's posted as a first come, first served basis and get more content up for you guys, because I would like to see what sort of challenges or missions you guys would like me to do, since I've basically gone everywhere, and this is what I would consider to be essentially the pinnacle of my mission so far. Right here would be to land this massive station on the surface of Laythe. What else do you guys want to see? So be sure to drop a comment, let me know. And it looks like I'm gonna need a bit of an inclination change here, like that. So let's see, we need to disable crossfeed. Bada bing, bada boom. Ready to go. And we can speed up time a little bit. So now that the claw part is gone off of the Nostromo, there's absolutely no danger of it exploding now, since that was the only claw that I had on there. And I am using up my monopropellant as I do this. And this is only 1/4 power, because we're burning through this maneuver pretty easily. So I don't think I need to really increase the power or anything of the engine in order to do these maneuvers. So this is really the perfect fuel tank and the perfect deorbital engine for small craft like this. And rather than using any fuel on the craft itself, we're using all the fuel from an expendable, very cheap, low part count engine. And we're just about out of the range of the Nostromo, I believe. Getting there, another 1 kilometer to go. And we're almost done with the burn too. There we go. Almost done. And we're good. So there's our deorbital burn. See what that got us. Yeah, looks pretty good. We're coming right into the dark side of the planet now. But I should be able to land this before the sun goes down on Laythe. And that's starting to look pretty good. Need to bring it in a little closer now that we're getting closer to the LZ. Gotta do a bit of an inclination change, it looks like. And bring us, overshoot it just a bit, because the atmosphere will slow me down and finish that burn. Okay, so that looks good for now. It's time warping very slowly. Yeah, it should be good. I might do a bit of an inclination burn here, so kind of correct. There we go. Oh, and drone 1 set as target. So that should allow me to get pretty close to drone 1. Gonna use up the remainder of my fuel again. Where the heck is my target? There it is. Okay, come on. Make sure I'm pointing relatively retrograde. As we come in here, need to burn this way. So I can get closer. So I'm basically just treating this exactly the same way I would for maneuver nodes in docking intercepts, trying to get the retrograde marker closer to that retro target marker, but I don't think we're going to be able to get it. Try at least. Or wait, we need to go this way. And we're out of fuel. Get the brakes for the wheels. Jettison the engine. Oh crap. we were on the engine. Oh my god. Rover down. Alright, 17 minutes ago. Gonna have to revert there a little bit. Looks like the staging got screwed up. I didn't check the staging. So let's go back to the Rover. Let's try this again. So I guess it was being controlled from the docking port, and not from the actual from the Rover probe core, I guess. See if we can do this right this time. I have to double check the staging here. Alright, so the staging looks right because it's jettison. Yeah, it's jettison that and then parachute, which is the way it should work. So let's make sure we're controlling from here. Alright, so I think that works now. And I do need to change the inclination of this a bit, if I remember correctly. I can't even see. A bit like that. And that should be good. So it's time accelerate. Wait, before I do anything, disable crossfeed to make double sure I'm controlling it from the right location. And fire. I'll go a little bit faster. A little bit more throttle. Should be fine. Alright, there we go. So now, we should be good. So, time warp in. And I do have to do that inclination change again. Let's do it here. I know they added the markers and everything on the nav ball, but I'm just too used to doing it this way by this point. But for those of you, if there are any of you that are watching that are kind of new to Kerbal Space Program, they did add the inclination markers and everything that you see on this thing on your nav ball, so you can see it that way. It's just that I like doing the maneuver nodes. I guess this would be helpful if you had to do changes on the fly, but I have enough time in between burns that I don't really need to do this, I guess, with the nav ball. It's a welcome addition, but I just don't find it particularly useful most of the time, just because I'm used to doing things the hard way, I guess you could call it. Because having the lines there and not having the lines there makes sense, but I don't fully understand the blue one because I haven't looked at it. So there's that blue one, and that blue one has little lines coming out of it. Whereas this one has ones going in of it. And that doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, I understand the inclination one, I understand the prograde and retrograde because I've used it. It's just the blue one just screws me up a little bit. And I don't know what the actual term is for what you're doing with the blue one. I only know inclination and prograde retrograde. Ooh, and we do need another inclination change right there. Okay, that looks a lot better. And set that as target. So we are going to overshoot, but we're probably going to slow down and land a lot closer to it than we did last time, is my guess. We'll see. And again, let's make sure controlling that from there. Yeah, we're offshooting it a little bit. Bring this back. Actually, this is really good. Can bring that retro target marker on there. Come on. And yep, out of fuel. Okay, so now, please work. There we go. So that's what we're supposed to see. And now, hit the parachute. Parachute deploy. Almost snapped in half. And everything explodes below us. Got a little bit of RCS left. I'm going to save that for when we're about to land here. Let's go ahead and lock brakes in. Lock steering. And let's see. Gotta keep on making sure I control from there. So good. Right's right, left is left. And we landed pretty close, 1.5 kilometers away. And we're 6.5 kilometers away from the other one. Turn RCS on now. There we go. And we're down. Turn brakes off. I know this thing is like spouting RCS gas, but we're almost empty. And we're empty. Alright, so pop on the cork in 3, 2, 1. Boop. It's gone. Alright. Extend. Extend. My little antennas. You gotta try and keep this thing under 20 meters per second going down this hill. But we did manage to land pretty much at dusk on live. The sun is there, so not nighttime yet. Do 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 do. Check the electric charge real quick here. So electric charge is good. It's keeping us fully charged, and in the middle of this thing I do have a thermoelectric generator that you can just barely see underneath this this octo core and inside this girder piece. So there is an electrical generator in there just in case for extra power, because you really don't get a whole lot of power out of solar panels this far away from the sun. So you kind of have to add extra power when you're over a joule, or especially if you go to ELU. Yeah, this would be a really bad spot to land because this is on a pretty terrible incline. Coming in here, drone one. I'm hitting reverse here to try and slow down. And if I hit the brakes, this thing's going to do like a forward flip, and we don't want that. So bring it in here. Should be able to stop. Yep, there we go. So brakes, and we're done. And that actually allowed me to switch the pod this time, which is fantastic. So let's get Maldum Kerman out here and aboard. And climb on board, buddy. My brave Kerbal. This would be a really good place to deploy a rover garage, actually. It would be next to the station. Or maybe not necessarily next to the station, within maybe within the 3 kilometers or so of the station, just so you wouldn't have to have the rover garage and the station all on the same scene. So it wouldn't be loading in the physics and everything for all the parts on both of them. So there we go. We've actually made both rovers have safely landed on Laythe, and both of my Kerbals should now be able to rendezvous back over at drone 1 and get all this other debris out of here. And we're basically ready to bring down the station. But before I can bring down the station in the next video, I do need to send out a deorbital engine for that station, because I want to be very precise with this, because I'm only going to have one shot on bringing that station down and out of orbit here. And I have a very, very small area that I'm trying to land it in, so I'm going to have to be very precise. So I think this is the thing. the cork, as I'll call it. I'm gonna call that the cork for the Rover. I pop the cork. I think that's what that is. It's gotta be. Or is that the engine? Oh, that's the engine. So that's just the docking port for the engine there. And it's pretty cool. So let's see what happens in time warp. It's probably a very, very bad idea. But we're moving pretty good in time warp here. So this is 1 times time warp, and I don't want to go any faster than this because I don't want this thing to go flying off the road and explode. It's very stable, so I like. It's got a nice wide stance for the Rover. The suspension seems to be working pretty good. I'm really happy with this Rover design so far. Well, I'm not really sure if I should be using time warp on it. Well, the whole terrain around here is nice and flat, so there's not a whole lot of bumps in the terrain map to actually cause issues. I do feel pretty safe about time warp here. I don't want to fire up the ion engines. Really, those engines are, kind of just there for looks, but more for getting up hills if there's not necessarily enough power. With the Rover wheels to get up certain hills, you can activate these engines and it'll push yourself up the hill. And they actually work really well because I used the ion engine design like that on my APC, the Armadillo APC that was deployed on the moon, which is kind of a beast of a vehicle. Oh boy, almost went off the road there. So it's really nice to just see Laythe and take a Rover out driving on the terrain. I need to get a plane down here though so we can traverse the area a lot faster and in a bit more style. But in order to do that, we need a surface refueling place for it. So I can refuel my space planes actually on the surface of Laythe itself, which will be kind of tricky because I haven't done something like that before, but it's always been something I've been wanting to do. Ooh, hitting the suspension pretty good there. It's handling really nicely. I think the parts are going a little wonky though because we are in physical time warp. Keep it on the road, even though there is no road. If this were actually sand, I think this would be really terrible driving conditions because the sand would be so loose that I think these tires would dig into it, especially with lower gravity. I think the sand would be a lot looser than it would be on Earth. And so it would be kind of like quicksand everywhere, would be my guess. I don't know. I'm no astronaut, scientist, NASA person. Be a good question for Scott Manley, though, if rovers would actually be able to run around in sand dunes like this. We're almost here. Only 300 meters to go. Test the lights. Lights on. Lights off. Oh, here we are. Slow down, slow down. Slow down! Oh, dodge it. Avoid collision. Turn. Turn, damn you. There we go. So I wasn't able to slow down. I'm afraid to hit the brakes. going at that high speed, I think is just gonna do a terrible front flip. But there you have it. So we have both Kerbals safely on the surface of Laythe here, and I forget their names. Meldom and Hadley, I believe their names are actually. So let's go ahead and turn the UI off. Yeah, right about here, I guess. Yeah, it's good enough. Screenshot. And turn it back on, and we're done. So we've now rendezvoused at our LZ. Again, we got about 300 to 350 meter radius from this drone 2 cockpit that we need to try and land the Nostromo from. So next time, in the next video, I will have the deorbital engine for the Nostromo already ready to go and attached to the craft itself, because I'm just going to transfer that engine out there and dock it on another video, and we can start the next video off right with the deorbit burn and be ready to go. So let's terminate that. Drone 1. Yeah, drone 1, terminate. Boom! And it's gone. So we don't need that anymore. The Nostromo is there on the dark side of the planet, so it'll just stay in orbit, and I'll keep my Kerbals on the ground there. And I'll have to get that deorbital engine ready to go, which is pretty much just going to be one of the big, humongous lifter engines that came out in the update before this one. So probably just one of those is all I need, I think. And I should be able to bring it right down on top of it, because what I want to try and do is get the LZ relatively right under the apoapsis, and then I'm going to bring it straight down on top of a potential LZ area. So I'm going to need lots of RCS gas, and I think some side rockets and things for that too. So hope you guys enjoyed. Next time we will be deorbiting a massive space station onto the surface of Laythe and landing it. And it worked on Kerbin, so hopefully it'll work on Laythe, but I'll try and get that video out to you guys tomorrow. Or maybe not tomorrow, but yeah, I don't know. Before Friday. So hopefully before Friday I'll get that video uploaded, and you guys can see my greatest station ever landing on the surface of Laythe. So remember to submit a challenge for me on that first video where I asked you guys to submit challenges for me to do. And thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time, take care.